Trooper Cody and Steve, and this isn't a light horse video, this is more of an anecdote of something that happened to us recently. And the equine community is a very tight-knit community, and there's a lady, local lady, who is an incredible barrel racer, cutting, drafting. She's really, really successful on horses, has some beautiful horses. And it's interesting that her husband has no interest whatsoever in horses, but fully supported her. Her husband, there's no other way of putting it, she's quite an attractive lady, and her husband is a very handsome man. They met when he was doing male modelling. He was modelling for a R.M. Williams catalogue with Western clothing when they met, and he is fully supportive of her equine hobby. So what happened was that she was in her stables with her horses preparing for an event that was coming up, and hubby was, as always, being supportive toward her. And what he did was, he came out to the stables pretty early in the morning when she was out there at dawn. He came out pretty early in the morning. He had a pot of fresh coffee, china cups and saucers, croissants on a tray. He had done a really special breakfast for her. He walked in the door, he tripped, the china fell off the tray onto the stone floor, smashed, one of the horses spooked, kicked, and this poor guy had a hoof straight into the middle of his chest and killed him instantly. So what happened is, there was obviously a funeral, very sad. It was really attended in incredible numbers by the equine community in particular. And I went along there, and what I noticed was that at funerals there's a stage where, before the coffin actually goes into the ground, people form a line and they come along to pay their respects. And we haven't lived here that long, I didn't know her that well, I was sort of standing back. And what I noticed is, as these people were going along, passing her and paying their respects, when a man came up to her and spoke to her, she would smile and nod her head. And when a woman came up to her, she'd have a more serious look and she'd shake her head. And it was quite bizarre, because this happened with everybody. It was either a man and she'd nod, or a woman and she'd shake her head. So when the ceremony was all over, and I got to say, I just had to find out. I was too curious. So I went up to her and said, look, I have to ask you, I don't want to be rude, I know it's a sad time, but when a man came up to you, you smiled and nodded, and when a woman came up to you, you shook your head with a straight face, and with a serious face. And she said, well, what happened was that whenever a man came up to me, they would say what a terrible loss it was, particularly because he was such a handsome man and had such a potential for a career and was just getting into acting, and so I would agree with him. And when a woman came up to me, they were all the same thing. They all wanted to know if the horse was for sale. Okay, hope you like it. Till next time. Cheers. Thank you.